Being a dad is hard. It's high stakes. It takes a toll on our self-worth, mental health, and can be lonely. But why would we ever want to do something so important in isolation? Legacy Makers, a conversation for dads, is quite simply two normal dads having conversations about, you guessed it, being a dad. The highs, the lows, and the learnings along the way. We are four dads. We want to remedy the deficiency we see in community for dads, and we want to ruthlessly encourage dads on their journey to build lasting legacy for the faces they love the most.
Eric, 2025, here we are. New year, new studio. I mean, this thing is legit here. We've upgraded. Legit. I mean, for our tens and tens of listeners, they're going to really appreciate this. You probably got a new pair of Jordans, is that right? What are these?
Santa brought me. I like these because they got a little camo in them. I always like to look at the toe being different than the sides. These are sweet. These are really sweet. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate that.
Good. I almost didn't wear a collared shirt today, but
I wanted
to stay on brand for you.
You put on a trendy little sports coat there.
Okay, here's we're in a new year. Are you a big goal setter?
Yes, I am. Well, I am.
Are you a big goal achiever or just setter?
I'm very good at setting them. And then try to see how long throughout the year we can actually continue to go attack them for sure.
Okay, let's talk about that process because I'm curious. Laura and I do this every year. We have not done it this year, so I'm hoping this will be an inspirational episode for me.
Yeah.
Let's just start with how do you do it?
Yeah, we sit here kind of so we're recording mid-January, so I think that's like most of the New Year's resolutions last about till this spot. So,
yeah.
But I do think for Brittany and I, what we try to do, is we've had this tradition where that kind of dead period between Christmas and New Year's, we try to go on a date and we really take we both do some pre-work and talk about the year that was and some of the things we're really proud and happy about. And then
looking back.
Looking back and then kind of thinking about the next 12 months. And we literally try to visualize, okay, this dinner at, end of 25, what are things that we want to be able to say that we're proud about, right? Like whether that's relational things for her and I, trips that we want to go on, stuff for our kids that they're either working against, stuff for us personally, like where do we have opportunities? And it's been like one of the things that we look forward to over break, just because it does. I think, when you take inventory, you get to really take a moment to be like, wow, we did all of that in the last 12 months. But also I think there's something exciting about looking ahead, right? There's something exciting about it's just, the 31st of December and January 1st, it's literally nothing different, but there's something significant.
Yeah, there's a mental thing. I love that you take inventory. That is an area, that I struggle personally.
Yeah.
I struggle at work. There's one of these writers talked about this concept. Dan Sullivan talks about the gap and the gain. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It basically says a challenge with goal setting. He's a huge advocate that we should set goals, but when you set goals, if you only measure the gap, which is where you are compared to the goal you've set, you live in a level of perpetual frustration. Where you also need to measure the gain, which is from where you are to where you've come from. Does that make sense? Just like
it does.
And I'm always on to the next thing. Laura is really good at reminding me, like, look back, look, we've moved this far, we've done this well. So you guys sit and do that. Are there any specific questions? Like, is it the same framework every year?
No, I mean, I think again, it's really important that we just kind of go in that cadence. Not necessarily specific questions, but she was actually like more like, let's just go to dinner years ago. And now she's the one that's like, hey, I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks. I've got my notes. Are you ready? Are you ready? So I would say, to anybody that's thinking about this process, the most important thing is to get quiet and go somewhere and be able to really think. Cause, and that seems so easy to take 30 minutes and go think about it, but it's not a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun to be kind of introspective and to be really honest with yourself on what you could have done differently or what you want to, go attack. But I think the process is going to be as impactful as the time that you invest on really trying to get out and figure it out again. And I like to look at 12 months ahead. Like, what do I want to be proud of that I accomplished? And then you can kind of start to reverse engineer.
Do y'all go back and look at what you did the year before?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. We like to kind of, here's the trips we went on. And, we actually kind of earmark some pictures to kind of go through and talk about some memories that were made. And so, but again, it's a really, I think, an important process. And honestly, like, it probably shouldn't be done just once a year. That's one of the things, like, you don't have to save this for once a year to kind of take that time to be really thankful about what's happening in your lives. But I do think, I'll tell you, for me, it's been much easier as I think about improving things and getting better to have with her, right? To have goals with her.
Do you ever disagree on the goals?
She used to disagree a lot because a lot of mine were more fitness related, and she'd be so frustrated. She's like, I don't want to, like, so, but I'll tell you, like, it's so, like, we have this, we're doing 75 days. Like, there's that 75 hard that is really hard, like a bunch of stuff you're supposed to do every day, but ours is like 75 medium-ish. Like, it's not hard, but we're doing it together. It's like, 45 minutes a day working out. It's start and end the day in prayer. We're journaling. We want to read a certain number of books. It's certain food things we're trying to cut out. But there's a list of stuff. And to be able, if I was just doing that on my own, like, it would just have been hard. So, like, yesterday, it was a really busy day for me, as an example. Didn't get to work out like I normally do in the morning. I get home, we got the kids to bed, and she's like, you haven't worked, so go work out for 45 minutes. Yeah. If we weren't on the same page and I hadn't seen her all day, the last thing she would have done would be like, hey, go on your own and go work out. But, like, we're doing that together, and not all of your goals are going to be, together, but that is super helpful when you have that alignment with your spouse on what you're going after, because they're going to be a champion for you, or a cheerleader for you, which just helps on the journey to actually get it done.
Yeah, I think all that's true. We struggle a lot of times because there's a couple areas of goals that we are not always aligned on.
Yeah.
So, because some of the times they're in conflict. I'm thinking, you're talking about trips, those kind of things. Laura is also thinking about how many nights are we having dinner at home together as a family, and sometimes those are in conflict. Yeah. So I think having the conversation is good, and having the right questions.
Yeah, I think also, like, part of success in the future is, like, how are you entering the year?
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important to enter the year in a place of clarity. That week, especially that week between Christmas and New Year's, feels like it's like you're in the twilight zone. Like, it could be a Saturday at 2:00, or it could be a Tuesday at 1:00. You have no idea what time it is. So, like, instead of just letting this, like, that time just be really unproductive, like, I really try that week to purge a lot, right? So, like, I really want to go into the year feeling clear, feeling light. We donate a whole bunch of stuff around the house to charity that we're not using, toys, clothes. Like, there's something of, organize the garage, organize the storage stuff. I just want to be organized and clear going into the year. Yep. Email cleanup, like, all these things that might have piled up, my to-do lists. Like, I want nothing coming into 2025 or the year ahead that I'm just bringing with me. Sounds kind of silly, but it's really important to have, just for me, like, I'm not bringing baggage into the year. Like, I'm closing it. It's like your business. You're closing the books, and it's on to the next one, because then you can focus on the goals or what you want to get accomplished.
Okay, let's talk about goals as a dad. I'm curious, which ones did you set? Because mid-January, by the time this episode's up, it's going to be beginning of February, and so maybe by mid-February I'll have some goals.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think you still got 10-ish months to go after that. A big one for me is, being really, transparent, is around raising my voice, my frustration level with the kids. And so part of our 75 medium-ish is to not yell at the kids. Yep. And so I'm like, Brittany's like, she just says, okay, these are the things I'm going to do. And then she says she's going to do them, and somehow she keeps inventory. I am an Excel spreadsheet guy. So I have all the things I said I was going to do. I have 75 days and it's green.
Oh my gosh.
It's green and red. Like, and every night I'm
on track, off track.
I think what's going to happen at the end of the 75 days, like I'm going to see some red and I'm going to know where I really lean in like further. But one of the things is not to yell at the kids.
Okay,
like,
let's anchor there for a second. I want to come back to something. This conversation in our house this week because our oldest George is like, "Why are you yelling?" I'm like, "Because you're not listening."
Yeah.
And we have this problem where don't raise my voice, don't raise my voice, don't raise my voice, don't get the attention.
Mm-hmm.
This is a mechanism to get a child's attention.
It is.
So how are you going to survive without raising your voice? I agree that it's a good goal.
I think when I really think about when I raise my voice, it's typically because I'm doing something else and I'm being interrupted by the behavior that they shouldn't be doing. Okay. So I'm not raising my voice just to raise my voice. Like they're doing something that's worthy of a correction or a conversation, but I'm so much better if I'm in the moment. And a lot of times, honestly, it's like I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at email or if something's going on and then something happens, and I react. And it's because I've been distracted by something else. And then I'm not able to have peace of mind or clarity to take a moment and then have a conversation and correct it.
That makes sense.
And so here's what I will tell you. When I go through my 75 days, my gut is, because I've already starting to see it in 17 days or whatever it is, one of the lines that's more red than green, not more red than green, but I'm seeing more red than the others, is this one. However, at the end of the day, and I'm going through my day, okay, did I work out? Did I do the sauna? Whatever. If I'm putting a green there, like I'm giving myself that almost like reinforcement that, hey, like, great job. Like you did not raise your voice to your kids today. Like, that's great. And if it's red, I'm remembering the moment.
Yeah.
I remember the moment during the day, but at night and I'm reflecting, I am now putting another reminder to myself today, this time or 2 times or 3 times with Anderson or Camden, like you raise your voice. And I think what's going to end up happening, I hope, is it's going to at least it's not going to become this thing that just happens. Like I'm going to be more aware that I'm doing it. I'm going to do it less. And I think that process for me is very important because if I say, hey, I don't want to yell at my kids. All right, well then what's your mechanism to ensure that you're not? You know what I mean? Like if you don't have a tracker or a journal or but like you have to have the awareness that it's happening. And I think I'm hopeful that at the end of the time, this becomes more of a habit to take a moment. And to not raise my voice.
Okay, what other dad-related goals? So don't raise your voice.
One of the things I did actually was with the boys. I haven't done it with the girls. I need to do that. Is I had pretty one-on-one time at some point in December and said, "Hey, like, what's going on? Like, tell me how I'm doing as a dad." And they were super weirded out by that. Yeah. I'm like, "What do you mean? You're great. I love you." I'm like, "No, tell me, like, what do you like about me as a dad, as your dad?" And they would share different things. And, Benny's 8, so he likes when we wrestle, right? And Cam's got, his perspective. But like, then I was like, okay, what can I do better? I'm like, oh, you're great, Dad. I love you. Like, what can I do better as your dad? Cause I'm trying to get better. And one of the things on the yelling came from Camden. And he was like, hey, sometimes when you get frustrated, I know I deserve it. And I know that I mess up, but I'd like to know, like, talk to me, help me understand more than just getting upset. Cause when you get upset, I don't hear, so it was a very intelligent, I think really productive conversation to have with him. He's 11.
Okay.
And so I don't know, man, I'd never really done that before with the kids like that intentionally. And both of them, it was such a cool, I could see it in their face. Like it was a cool moment for them to see that their dad who, listen, I remember growing up, I thought my parents just knew everything. Right. So I think it teaches your favorite word, vulnerability. But I think it teaches them vulnerability. I think it teaches them that, look, like no one's perfect. We all have to get better. You don't just kind of arrive at, being great. And so I don't know. It was a really productive thing. So that helped, again, tie into some of the things that I want to do as a dad. And then the last thing I would say is like, don't do 15 things. I'm literally like the one dad related thing I'm doing is trying not to yell at my kids.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
You don't have 30 dad goals.
I don't think we should have 30 goals in general for our life. I think it just becomes overwhelming and then you do nothing. I mean, my approach recently has been all right, what's one thing I want to do? And then that's what I'm doing. Like if I'm trying to introduce a new habit or trying to get better at something, I'm really trying not to do 10 things. Like I just don't think it's, and then you just have a better chance to focus. Like,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. I like, even whether you call it 75 hard, medium, whatever your
Mm,
75 is, but the time bound aspect of that, because we talked about resolutions not sticking.
yeah.
It's tough to figure out if I'm going to do something for a whole year, but hey, for the next month, I'm going to try to do this. So the next 2 months, I like those pieces. Yeah, I'm just curious, when you think about that, do you talk to your kids about them setting goals? Because mine are a little bit younger. We're
Yeah.
starting to get there with George a little bit, but
I've tried, and I tried to do New Year's resolutions with them, Brittany and I both with them, and it's just not clicking
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
And they're at ages that I thought it would be, but I try to just pull back. So like, all right, well let's help them try to get to a spot where they want to do things. Like Camden, my oldest, now I'm actually for the first time seeing him want to get better at sports. He's a very gifted kid and has excelled in sports, but like he's actually putting in the work.
yeah,
And which I love. One of the things that on that piece of it, when you think about kids and getting them to do goals or get them started, I love this story from Pat Summitt, the legendary, arguably the greatest coach of all time, like
yeah.
sports
Lady Vols coach.
Lady Vols, but just pioneer in women's sports, but just incredible. You know, she has passed away, but she told this story. She has a son, had a son, he's still alive, but when she was alive, had a son named Tyler. And I think the story goes, he was around, 10, 11, and she was at the height of her Tennessee dominance as a coach. And he tried out for the middle school team and didn't make it. And she said initially her mind was like, what idiot? Like, who is not going to want to have Pat Summitt's son on their basketball team? Like, this is crazy. And he came home and he was upset naturally and said to his mom, like, I can't believe I didn't make the team. I wish I made the team. And she said, all right, well, do you really want to make the team next year? I said, yes, I want to be on the team, all my friends. She's like, no, do you really want it? I said, yeah. I said, listen, I have all the tools to help you and I will work with you each and every day. But what I won't do is I won't start your engine.
Mm.
And I think that stuck with me when I heard that a few years ago. And we've taken that approach, whether it's goals or like, I played basketball in college. I know the sport really well. I have never forced my kids to go out and practice. I tell them they should practice and I teach them as to why it's important to practice, but I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to force it for you. And now Camden is finally, and he says that, like he wrote a note, in December. It was like one of these like random impromptu things. And it was so sweet. And he referenced that exact. He's like, I know you won't start my engine. And so like he's starting to use that nomenclature, but it's really cool to see that happen in kids. And I think if you force them to do goals or force them to go out and hit a bucket of baseballs every day, it becomes it's not theirs anymore. Like they have to own that. And so I wish they wrote resolutions, but we're not at the spot yet. So.
Okay. Here, a few things I'm taking away. Number one, you've set goals. I need to set some goals as a dad. I think less is more. For a period of time is also a good idea. And then this idea with kids, I am curious. I'd love us to think about this for a second. What are bad goals for dads to set? What is like, this is like, dad should not be making this a goal.
I want your perspective on that too. Hopefully it's not, you shouldn't make a goal not to yell at your kids because I've already come out with that one. Again, when you say that, my gut, where my head goes to, I think that there's a lot of dad guilt. I felt it. I try to resist it. I think it's very natural.
Yeah.
And so I don't know an exact specific, you shouldn't make this goal, but I would encourage anybody that's listening, be good to yourself. Like don't stretch too much. And then you build on that, right? I think when you set really crazy goals, sometimes it's on the dad side of things and you're not able to achieve it, then all of a sudden you become a bad dad or whatever. I think you have to be super thoughtful. I think any goal that's not rooted in reality in this kind of discussion on being a parent is a really bad goal to set. Any goal that is not your own, like your family's different, your kids are different. I think you can't just say, okay, I'm not supposed to do this, or like I read this in a book. I think you've got to really be introspective on that.
I think that's a good point, because there are times where, I'm scrolling Instagram and I'll see our buddy Jesse Itzler. We got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
But like, you see some things he does, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but that's not my family. Like, we're not going to go run that much.
Yeah.
Just setting those. I think another thing that I'm realizing is I need to set goals that I have control over, not that are really a manipulative way to control somebody else. Like, I'm setting a goal that really is things I want Laura to do, but I'm positioning as my goal. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's a great point. I think, again, that goes back to like that alignment is really, really important. Mm-hmm. The alignment with your spouse is really important, or those closest to you. We've started to share, even with the kids now know, like, what Brittany and I are doing in these 75 days. Like, it's not misaligned with what we're trying to do as a family. Like, they know that mom and dad are trying to get better and eat better. And, but I think the more you can share things, so it becomes a collective versus, like you said, either it's more of a selfish thing or it's something that you're trying to get out of somebody else. And that's not going to be productive long-term.
Yeah. As we close, just encouragement from me is, I think February, listening to this, it's not too late. It's not a like, hey, all right, put the calendar for December next year, set the goal setting. Should be a routine that happens more often. And, but the other thing is, I like the idea of at least sharing them with the kids.
Yeah.
Letting them know you're working on things.
Yeah, I think that it's really important for your kids. We've talked about this, to see you strive, to see you wanting to get better, to ensure that they don't have this like superhero complex where they think mom and dad just get it all the time. They understand, they know everything. They don't need to do anything because they just have arrived. And I think that kids need to see you continually wanting to raise the bar. And I think, setting good goals like that are really authentic to you and your family are going to help them. You're providing an example for them down the line on how to live your life, because the journey is the most fun part. It's cliche to say, but it is. Like, the stuff I've done that are big things that I put on a calendar, like whether it's a big athletic thing or something big in career, you get there and you're just like, okay. But like the journey to get there, the training for a big race, or, hey, I want to get this to this spot in my career. That's the fun thing. You put it out there and then you have a process to go get there. And that process then allows you to have, hopefully, achieve what you wanted to achieve. But I agree. I think you don't need to wait till the end of the year. This is not a New Year's resolution and, oh man, I didn't do it, and so I'll have to wait another 10 months to do this again. Like, just start whenever. Just start, right?
It's good. Well, man, I'm encouraged. I'm inspired. Let's go set some goals.
We will talk when we record in February. I want to hear what you and Laura have aligned to. So I'm going to hold you to that.
That sounds great.
Thanks for listening to Legacy Makers with Kevin Scott and Eric Blumenthal. Make sure you download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.